and to be putting up the results that we've seen along with SpaceStation. Let's get into Game 2 and see how SpaceStation does. Now, after losing at Game 1 to Team 12, SpaceStation chooses first pick. Team 12 takes us to Dragonshire.
Dragonshire, definitely a map that if you're trying to avoid, you know, that 5-man death ball from a team like SpaceStation, this is one way because it highly prioritizes that solo lane. We've seen, you know, some teams try and invade, try and create some different strategies with the new gameplay changes, especially the early camps now that they spawn at 1 minute. We've seen SpaceStation kind of pick up on different ways that they can kind of create some chaos. But for Team 12, it gives them, by the way, Goku, probably the best solo laner in North America, one of the most well-respected solo laners that we have, allows him to do his thing, and then the 4-man to really shine as well.
This is the first time that Team 12 has chosen Dragonshire as a map. It's a one that it's not bad for SpaceStation 2, as SpaceStation bans Greymane. But Team 12 here, they're 2-1 here, so feel pretty good, feel pretty confident. They've been able to deal with a lot of aggression by using things like Leoric in the solo lane, Blaze too. They've even busted out Falstad. Let's see what they want to use here, but Greymane and Tracer bans to kick things off.
Yeah, the Tracer ban, despite Team 12 having that last game, they don't want to give that up to SpaceStation, who obviously had a little bit more of a unique style draft going into that triple melee, the kill composition with the Kerrigan, so still sticking on that Blaze though. And as you had mentioned before, it doesn't have to be Equinox, it could be Jason. So it might fit in that solo role, or they might try and use that in the format.
Yeah, it feels difficult for SpaceStation to decide where that should lie. In the last composition, it made a lot of sense to put it along with the Kerrigan, but they did lose out on the solo lane versus Goku's Malthael itself, which has been picked for a second time now by Team 12. So I'm wondering if they're going to keep Equinox on Blaze, if maybe we see something else that could try to keep up with the solo lane a bit better instead of having the placeholder that Tyrael is.
Yeah, the Malthael definitely, with that cleave ability now built into his auto attack, definitely helps him out, I think, in that. Genji picked up here by SpaceStation. Gives them that dangerous factor early and throughout.
Is it the Genji and New Barak? Or can SpaceStation run the Genji Blaze the same way?
The opportunities were definitely a little bit fewer on Infernal Shrines. They got a few kills, but Team 12 definitely found ways to counter.
And the Genji was banned in the mid-tier.
That is true, yeah.
So they moved that up in priority. Granted, SpaceStation were second pick in the last game, and they wanted to get Blaze and Uther, but the Genji ban seemed to be, especially with the Greymane ban that SpaceStation are showing, it's really hurt with that. Now, less of a focus on having the Uther along with that. Here, though, Jaina. Jay Shritas Jaina.
Yeah, he's played a lot of Jaina so far. So much so, let's see, we've got 7 games so far. That's more than anybody. You know, it's funny because you can look at the amount of time that we have as far as like the amount of CC control that you have. Jay Shrita is actually at the top.
Yes.
It's just, he's played a lot of Jaina, and getting abilities out of people give you that slow, so there's a lot there. But to further go into the point that you made, getting that follow-up, getting that train going. You get the stun, you get Genji to follow through, and then you've got Jaina there. That is a blow-up composition that is very difficult for anybody to deal with. The Malfurion on the other side does not deal well with that burst-style damage. I imagine SpaceStation will once again ban the Medivh.
Especially because Team 12 has run a lot of these Medivh wombos with Malfurion too. So it's a combo that it's synergistic for Team 12, and it would also do a lot to mitigate that burst damage. Jaina also adds more as far as having the wave clear to make sure to keep up with the rotations, and hopefully will free up Genji so that he can both help top if it's that Blaze or whatever it's going to be, as well as go around looking for those kill opportunities, the kill potential with the combo.
They're holding for now. The Arthas ban, of course, does well to get the initial slow out Jaina, makes it easier to follow up with skill shots, and it allows for that combo. And that's kind of, again, SpaceStation. They're known for having heavy CC time. That's how they run. They find all different ways to get some sort of control over their opponents, whether it's slows, roots, stuns. And Arthas does well against auto attack melee heroes, Kerrigan being one of them. Didn't expect that ban.
No, Team 12 generally doesn't play that aggressively on this map. It's a lot more about just the standard play, even more so to the idea of more safe play. But maybe in having that Malthael already, it was enough to make SpaceStation question whether they would devote to the Tempo Storm style of Malthael and Kerrigan.
So Team 12 got a lot of options. It's normally when you look at tank players, you can kind of get a feeling for how they're going to go. But with Justin, you really don't know. And now we're moving back into the triple melee from Team 12. That's generally Cure on the Tyrael.
It is.
So Justin will likely be on that main front line on ETC, but I did not expect this style of composition on Dragonshire.
I didn't either. It's a lot more together. And I wonder what that last pick will be. Something with good wave clear for the 4-man.
Oh, you're going to dive on me? Oh, I'm going to dive on you. I mean, they have the possibility here. They could just keep it safe and go Tychus on that backside, but...
They might Gul'dan again.
That is true.
He has some ways of trying to keep himself alive because it's just Malfurion who's there. Malfurion is a good combo with Gul'dan again. And we'll see if Team 12 wants to bring back Dansky's Gul'dan for an encore. Last 2 picks for SpaceStation. Where's that Blaze going? Is it to Equinox? Is it to Jason? Lucio is the support of choice for Tomster and Sonya.
Are you surprised that we're not seeing Hanzo? I mean, Hanzo seems like a really good pickup here. You can really set up a lot on the front line. You have excellent mobility. You have great control. You have great control around the shrines with that scatter arrow. Again, Tychus seems like a safe option. Hanzo, I don't know what happened to him. I mean, obviously he had minor nerfs to 2 level 7 talents, but that doesn't take away from an incredible amount of strength that he has.
Well, SpaceStation hadn't been playing a lot of Hanzo to begin with. Definitely not as much as, say, Hosty, as Psalm, as Crowan. There he is. I was going to say Team 12 played a little bit more, but it's interesting to see that he's made it all the way to the last pick of the draft.
Yeah, I mean, the changes were to the amount of armor that he can apply at level 7 on the Sharpen, and then the other one was the cooldown reduction off auto attacks that you get on the cooldown reduction on your scatter arrow. That's it. That's the only changes I believe we had on Hanzo, right? I think that was it, just his level 7 talents.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like he was drastically changed. It wasn't like a minor rework like Greymane around some of his talents. It was literally just nerfs to 2 talents. They're 2 really impactful talents, don't get me wrong. But I'm a bit surprised he's fallen off as much as he has, but as you said, neither of these teams have had the high priority on Hanzo.
Yeah, because even if you look at the last series, Hanzo was first ban every game. That was versus Crowan, and that was versus Heroes Hearth, who turns out are really good at working around that Hanzo. But Team 12 has been sort of willing to play Hanzo. Same when you look at SpaceStation, but neither has been as highly focused as Heroes Hearth and like Tempo Storm, those kinds of teams. Either way, we do get Hanzo in the end there for Team 12. But the Greymane ban instead of Hanzo, that is what is intriguing me, J-How.
I am on the same page as you, Gillian. The Hanzo being let through. You know, Dansky's played 3 games on it so far, 2 out of 3 win percentage. Hanzo has actually been played 5 times by Cure, so it's normally been a Cure hero, but with Cure moving over to the Tyrael as they drafted him before the Hanzo pick, you know, it's kind of up in the air just a tiny bit. So Dansky, the scatter arrow, especially around the shrines, just bounce that around and really do some damage there. So both teams engage here towards the middle.
Yeah, I mean, both of the teams have been willing to play Hanzo, but neither has had a strict Hanzo player. Like you said, Cure was playing some, and then it got shifted over to Dansky. Same when you look at Casanova and Jay Shrita. Yes, I think so. I know Jay Shrita was playing some of it. We've got a fight breaking out in the mid over control of these minion waves. And Team 12 looks to come out just slightly on top.
Jay Shrita continues to kind of experiment with Jaina builds as we get Lingering Chill. Not the first time he's picked it, but he's definitely been very diverse in his talent pickups. He's going to get the extra duration on the Chill from 4 to 6 seconds. So anybody hits with one of those abilities, will keep them nice and slow. And speaking of nice and slow, Blaze not getting out of here.
Yeah, he's not just slowed.
Wait a
oh,
minute.
wait, yes.
There he goes.
It was very close, but in the end, Team 12 gets that first blood. He wasn't just slowed, he was stopped for a long time between the power slide and the roots.
First blood, Team 12 this go around. Gives themselves a little bit of an experience lead, also allowing SpaceStation to kind of move in here. Generally, we would see SpaceStation maybe try for an early invade with this composition. Without the Blaze there, they just kind of have to fall back. They'll have to play neutral in terms of the camp pickups. But we also have both shrines active as well.
A lot of mirroring happening here between the two teams getting their giant camps. SpaceStation wants to clear out the way that they can so their giant camp can push further, but Team 12 has done a great job of pushing ahead of those giants. So they have a slight positional advantage. Team 12 channels both of the shrines, although having Sonya in the top, it seems to be working out a lot better for SpaceStation. She's been able to stay out in the lane more, even claiming that shrine in the top.
Tomster doing his best to keep people alive. Gilly, Tomster, I'm gonna throw this at you. Tomster, #1 in the world in heals per minute. Plays a lot of Lucio, a lot of Malfurion. Things definitely work out in his favor, but he does a really good job of sticking with his team, keeping people alive, and right there, wall rides in, makes the play, helps confirm the kill. As they get 2 kills there on ETC and Malfurion.
I'm gonna raise you that, because you talked about Tomster. Bud's highest healing numbers in the world. He's got the highest average heals per game. And then Tomster is second. And then Bud's is 4th in the world for average healing per minute. So a lot of healing happening between these two aggressive teams and their support players charged with keeping them alive.
Yeah, and I think the way that these teams play, especially you look at SpaceStation, they're known to dive in. And then we see the triple melee composition of Team 12. They're known to have places to dive in. There's Tomster getting a nice boop out. However, Goku and Jason have a duel of their own. Jason lands the spear. We saw Tomster make the save at the bottom. Jason, Goku still trying to figure out this new mouth bill, apparently.
Yeah, that's huge that Jason was able to get that. We've been talking so much about Goku, how his transition to this role has been ahead of everyone else within the region. And then to have Jason come in and be able to win that 1v1 duel, that's got to give you a little bit of street cred here on Dragonshire and within the region. Getting that 1v1, getting more control in the top as Goku comes back in. Nicely done by Jason.
Jason. I don't know why we've heard so many animal sounds today. I don't even know where the animal's at on this map.
That's some sort of howling. What?
Oh, it's the mount. It's the lunar mount. That's what it is. I was like, what is that?
That makes sense. Did you see the video on our Twitter about where that came from?
Not yet. No.
It's really cute.
I try and keep up with it as much as I can, but I saw it. Just hadn't had time to click on it.
Make sure you check out the Blizz Heroes Twitter if you want to see the inspiration for that cute new mount. But we've got a game on our hands with SpaceStation having a level lead. Team 12, though, working on this bottom lane to try to even that out.
One thing that kind of, you look at Team 12, their draft, it's very reminiscent of the way we see Tempo Storm play this. And 2 parts of those pieces are Tyrael and Malfurion. Malfurion can heal the Siege Giants and things like that. Heal camps. Nice dodge. Goku and team not able to get the takedown with SpaceStation, but Goku, nice dodge, stay alive. But if we see Team 12 get camps, they'll heal up a lot of this, shield a lot of it, and maximize the push. See if they can get it.
And having both Sonya and Blaze, SpaceStation have shown that they can have rotations but still have a pretty good solo laner. It worked out for them last game somewhat too, although the Tyrael was losing out in the solo lane. But they've done the same thing here. They keep Blaze in the bottom. The rest of the team rotates up to help out in that push with the Bruisers along with the Sonya. And they get some structural damage done. But Team 12 in that amount of time has still been keeping up the soak. They don't lose out too much. They'll have their own Bruisers. And they're right behind SpaceStation in experience.
Yeah, they're staying there, but SpaceStation getting dangerously close to 10. They don't have a huge window to where they'll have 10 and they can kind of flex on their opponent. So see if they can try and make something happen as Team 12 trying to play it even. Team 12 coming down the invade just before 10. See if they commit to this.
That was really well done from SpaceStation. As long as they don't lose anyone here. There's the jet propulsion. Here dives forward and Casanova's willing to go for it. Putting on some more damage. 10 here, but SpaceStation, in advance of knowing they were going to have 10, channeled the bottom, had Sonya in the top, went and got the Giants. That pulled some of Team 12 back, got Heroics, and with that, a Dragon Knight. Everyone up still with us too. They didn't lose anybody. So they're looking to get some structural damage done here and further their lead.
Yeah, the Dragon Knight going down a little bit quickly here, but the rest of the team is split off to the other lanes as well. So getting the fort wall here, trying to maximize the push in top and bottom, really try and open this up. Get that tower down, give you a nice chunk of experience. The DK, as we can see on the minimap, moving down as well. So getting multiple fort walls down here in the first 6 to 7 minutes is a pretty big advantage structurally. They got the slow just being forced to power slide away.
Yeah, SpaceStation want to go up to the top, so they take the Dragon Knight bottom. That draws some resources there. Then they go top with the 3-man. Team 12 is reacting very well against this, but half a fort in the bottom, pretty good for SpaceStation. Should be able to maybe round out and get the rest of that. And then in the top, doing about half a fort same, they're going to get even further aggressive with this water elemental as Equinox rotates in to take out this fort and allow Jason to have an even stronger presence up here in the top.
Good zoning tool gives them a big chunk of experience, but we've got a stage dive on the backside. Justin and team trying to be aggressive. We power slide back to the friendly side. Bunkers put down. So are the roots just right outside of it.
And the tree. We're making a home with this bunker. We've got the lawn, the tree. It's so nice.
Beautiful.
Unfortunately, it gets deconstructed, but it'll be back and we can repeat the same process.
Time to buff the health, or nerf it, of the bunker. That's an enemy tree, by the way. 7 stacks on that.
It's building it up. There's some melee from that to stack that up. SpaceStation now almost 13 as they get their giants. And the bottom, though, Team 12 making a sneaky play for the Bruisers.
Goku and team waiting there. Sometimes the boombox is all about vision as we see the boombox go down into the bush there. Sniffs that out. Night Camp, however, was picked up. Equinox trying to get on that backside. Casanova going in as well. Unable to really collapse on that as you see the water elemental giving chase to Goku. SpaceStation, I don't think they're going to make much more.
Now, it's another short cooldown for SpaceStation. Okay to use. And it gives the rest of the team time to clear out those bruisers so they maintain the mercenary presence in the bottom. Now that Team 12 have stage dive, have their global, we're seeing ETC be more of the top laner with Justing there. And Malthael can rotate around with the rest of the team. Try to create opportunities for Team 12 to stage dive in and get a team fight advantage with that global. The setup with those bruisers, though, this is SpaceStation is looking really nice how they've been able to rotate around and get these camps. They're going to try again to use this talent tier advantage to get a Dragon Knight.
Yeah, they were successful when they had heroics. Unable to really kind of get that bottom control, but they're looking to potentially flank onto Justin. Slides out, the sign of the first threat there.
Not quite in time to stop Team 12 from getting their giants, as the rotation looked like they would consider the invade, especially with Team 12 still not having 13. But Team 12 don't care about that, especially if they can get the stage dive in. The boop was amazing on that. Now Equinox coming back in for the turn.
Coming back in for the turn, gets the big stun there, but the Twilight Dream comes down in return. Jason and team on Goku on the backside, who's somehow staying alive for the moment, but he will go down. And Tomster, no matter what, make him play his cure, forced to use the Sanctification to stay alive there.
Are you talking about that sound barrier to stop the last rites?
Literally everything.
Yeah, it was awesome. The boop with the ETC as he stage dove in, they needed those precious seconds for Blaze to rotate in, and it was just enough. SpaceStation played that fight to perfection, and a lot of that was Tomster on his Lucio. They're rewarded with a Dragon Knight.
Tomster is one of the most skilled players that we have, and I think that given the teams that he's been on, he hasn't quite gotten the name recognition, but every week if you just focus on his play, you're going to see plays made. I actually talked to him a little bit about how he approaches his role, because he comes from a very aggressive style background. When he was on Lagath and those teams back then with Zuna, trying to be very aggressive, he was forced to be aggressive and protect those heavy hitters on that front line. SpaceStation a little bit more reserved, but definitely aggressive. He does a good job taking care of it, well practiced in his role.
Yeah, I feel like any player who starts off by playing Karazim as a support and is able to succeed has a bright future ahead. But this, speaking of bright future, Dragon's Arrow into stage dive does quite a lot to a lot of SpaceStation, and Tomster himself is very low, has the sound barrier, negates the last rites again. So well done for SpaceStation.
Dragon Knight in the meantime gonna finish off that keep. Casanova has plenty of mobility to make sure and get out of there. Puts down the boom box, making sure get a little bit of double value there. SpaceStation and team take down a keep here 11 minutes in and open this map up heavily in their favor. 3-level lead.
Getting that keep 3-level leading Team 12 on Dragonshire. A battleground choice for Team 12, but as we said before, not one they traditionally choose. This would be a huge win for SpaceStation to tie up the series versus Team 12. Get the momentum going in the series. See if they can get another monstrous upset.
They're in the makings here in game 2 to try and even this up in their favor. Justin's going to slide out. Team 12 has just had a hard time finding the engagements because the counter engage, the slows, the bunker that's kept people alive, the play from Tomster that's made some clutch plays, negated 2 last rights, getting the boops, making saves happen. A lot working in SpaceStation's favor.
It's actually a northern exposure choice for Jay Shritta. You almost always see Numbing Blast as another lockdown for the team, but in having the Blaze play and the great Blaze play that SpaceStation has shown, he's willing to move into an armor reduction for even more blow up, setting up himself, the Sonya, the Genji even more. Goku here.
Didn't go Fingers of Frost, so didn't get that 10% damage off the Globe talent. There's a cleanse on to Goku. But right now, SpaceStation, they're being very aggressive, and Team 12 is just falling back and responding, falling back and responding. They don't have an answer yet. They don't have 16 right now.
Exactly.
So a lot of things are working against Team 12 to try and get back into this.
Still have that global, the global's at the top. SpaceStation are setting up for the next Shrine phase, which is activating in 10 seconds. Go back, get the bruisers, push this up, push this ahead. There's still no keep here, so they're pushing this far ahead. How far are they going to push this?
I'm wondering the same thing. I'm thinking, can they really go? There's the follow-up. Cure uses the Eldruins out the roots in return onto Jason. He'll get out of there. But they're still moving in. Catapults are here. The Knights are here. The Water Elemental is out. They got the damage in. The cleanse is going to be there, but that's going to be Malthel instantly going down. Justin and team trying to get on that backside. The bunker's going to be there. The keep helping to lock that down. Genji goes down.
Genji goes down. There's no Genji here. The sound barrier has already been used too with the bunker there. Sanctification will be down in a few if SpaceStation want to keep up this aggression, but they don't have their Genji. Cure dives back. The bruisers are gone. A 1-for-1 trade. The Malthel versus the Genji. But Team 12 or 16, I don't know if maybe the better play would have just been to push those up pretty heavily and then rotate out in a way that they could get both the shrines and just try to get the Dragon Knight before Team 12 got 16. But regardless, SpaceStation are known for making those kind of core calls. Just didn't work out quite here. They will likely get another opportunity as well as they can keep playing these team fights.
Justin making the clutch save on Sonya, trying to make sure to keep Sonya away, and Sonya trying to get out of there. The Water Elemental out. Jason using that spear to create distance, but the sniper of Dansky comes in, threads the needle, gets the kill.
That gives Team 12 a man advantage now for 45 seconds as they'll start channeling the Shrine in the bottom. Having that ETC, having the global, they already had top. Genji can't get there in time. This will be a channel in the first Dragon Knight of the game to go over to Team 12.
Couldn't come at a better time. Find themselves defending their core as the camp pushed in. SpaceStation, a few late game decisions hurting them at the moment. Justin coming in on the flank, the DK pushing in. If you can find a way to make it all the way and get the keep down, Dragon Arrow hits Jane on the backside. No fault, but if they can make it all the way to the keep and even this out, it's great. But SpaceStation still has an advantage, but they are having trouble with some of these late game decisions.
Exactly. Stagger deaths would be the absolute worst right now for SpaceStation, so I got very scared when we saw them as far out as they were, wanting to defend that fort. Give up the fort. It's 15 minutes, 30 seconds into the game. Wait until you have Sonya back. Whittle down that Dragon Knight, and then if you want to fight, you can attack. You still have the experience advantage on their way to 20. And Team 12 knows this. They're already moving ETC back into position in the top lane because they know they're still behind in experience.
They're doing a good job of coming back. I mean, they're only down a level at this point, just 16 to 13 at one point. Dragon Knight, not enough health left. I mean, they are only a half level down at this point, just over a half.
SpaceStation going to get their bruisers. As they've done before, always very good camp timings to make sure that they have some sort of threat happening in lane. And that goes back to when they had the Dragon Knight earlier on, and they focused on getting top and bottom at the same time with a great split pressure approach. It's been on Team 12 to figure out which of those lanes to go to, and it often is a slower rotation because SpaceStation have had such a good early game here on Dragonshire.
And see, they're making a move. ETC is going to be there. He stays to where he has maximum vision around corners, knowing that he can dodge, deny, keep an eye on things to make sure SpaceStation can't invade, and making sure that SpaceStation can't dive on him. Very good positioning by Justin to hold that level 20. See Team 12 sneak that in just in time before 20 is picked up, because SpaceStation now can be the aggressor, but Team 12, they'll just soak in the meantime.
They got a soak, which gives time for SpaceStation to clear out the bruisers and have a hand in that. Top has been all the way pushed. No Dragon Shrines to go collect, but it's all about getting the rotations and the control of the lanes prior to that. There's going to be a bruiser camp in the bottom, and then after that it should be Giants for, in 30 seconds, the Giants for SpaceStation. So they're going to have a great push in this bottom lane, which is, of course, for the keeps already down for Team 12, and right in time for those Shrines. Yeah,
as you mentioned earlier, though, the global is on the side of Team 12. Justin and team, they can make plays around that, try and find ways to keep the global, keep control of the Shrines, and delay just enough, because 20 is almost here. 15 seconds before, oh, wait a minute, Equinox and team.
Jay Schwartz is not here to follow up if they get that stun. Kier dives forward to his Eldruin. Casanova willing to go along for the ride with a Swift Strike. They continue to clear this out. Jane is going to go back to the Giants. ETC has top and 20 now here for Team 12.
She said the lane control is key, but rotating somebody up to that top lane is very difficult to keep control of both lanes when the other team has a global, and now that other team also has 20. The Siege Giants will be at the bottom lane, give some control back. Goku and team cautiously approaching. Casanova gonna get the channel, but because they've had to commit so many resources to rotating up, they give up the bottom shrine.
Yeah, I think SpaceStation maybe wanting to hold on to the bruisers and the cap of that for a little bit longer until they have the double pressure, and so it would be pushed out just in time so that they could go top, get that, take the fight to the ETC, who had to run all the way back. ETC can still stage dive in on this. You could take the top first, but he may not get the chance actually. With that Dragon's Arrow, he had to stage dive in along with that. Tomster in a lot of danger as he sound barriers, but it's not in time to save his life. Lucio goes down at the start of this Twilight Dream as Sonya pops up with this Dragon Blade. Casanova is looking to take out a lot of Team 12, but that Death Mosh.
The Death Mosh and the Material Explosion, the ultimate combo calculated right there. Trait value as well as that level 20 talent. They get a 2-for-3 trade in Team 12's favor, but that combo there, splitting out Tomster, unable to get into that bunker, zoned out there, worked out in Team 12's favor. See if they can, I think they're going to get the DK off this. I don't think SpaceStation can rotate down quick enough.
No, SpaceStation were starting to head up, and had Team 12 had that ETC get the Shrine, they couldn't. So if SpaceStation had won that fight, then they would have been able to get the Dragon Knight off of that. Probably would have won the game. We're going into this late game scenario with the Dragon Knight. They already have the keep down, but now it's a more difficult issue. There's still the fact that there's 2 people down for Team 12, and that was a ton of damage to Dansky. Dansky's down. That is a monstrous, staggered death.
That is, and now they've got their eyes on Buds. The ice block is there. Shrite trying to get in. The Blizzard coming down. That's going to be Malfurion falling. Shrite and team. Goku trying to stay alive. Stage dive is going to be here. Shrite trying to get out of range of that power slide. All members of SpaceStation are back up, but that will be Sonya going, or Blaze going down.
Yeah, that was the last rights just before Tomster got back with the sound barrier, but Tomster's chasing down Goku. He gets the kill. It is a bloodbath in the bottom lane at the end of this Dragonshire game, but Team 12 are desperate. They know they've already lost the keep down there in the bottom lane. The catapults are starting to push that lane in more. Genji's heading to the top now that he's shown up. Team 12 have to fight it out at mid.
They got to fight it out in mid. Shrite and team have come over. Genji has worked his way to the top. He's going to channel that Shrine. Malthael, cheating death, does have that level 20. No one can stop death. He's back on the battlefield, but they are still down one key member. But Malthael moved to the bottom. It doesn't look like they're going to get to the channel in time.
No, they didn't get to the channel, and I thought maybe they would try to get more aggressive on one of those beefier, tankier people from Team 12 that were in the mid, but SpaceStation should still be able to manipulate this. There's 3 seconds until Malfurion's up. He's right now 8 seconds until Blaze Team 12 used the global. They have the global back into position to go to the top. He has stage dive in 6 seconds.
It's gonna be close.
Team 12, they get it.
Dragon's Arrow. Got him.
Nicely done. Team 12 hold through this, and they have made it back up. They could not give that Dragon Knight.
Yeah, that Dragon Knight would pretty much mean the end of the game.
Look at bottom, though.
Now, bottom core will have catapults on it soon. Hanzo's already worked his way back. And they see that. SpaceStation sees that. They started to move around, but they also see that both shrines are now actually being channeled by Team 12.
Yeah, they felt like that wasn't an aggressive enough move, given the fact that Team 12 had to send someone back. They channel the bottom. They have Giants here, too. Top is pushing back in, as ETC would like to deal with that. Pretty much every lane in favor of SpaceStation, honestly, and the way that they've been able to play out this game thus far.
ETC is waiting in the bush. He has not shown. He has that stage dive, can come in at any moment. See when and if he makes that play. Stage dive coming in, but the ice block is going to be there. He's have the sound barrier as well.
Yeah, that was an early sound barrier, though. Jaina's already down as the Sanctification was there. Even if that hadn't been last rites, you have to have the sound barrier to make it through the last rites. Now Casanova hoping to take down Goku before Goku takes down him, but it's not enough. He falls. Tomster being chased down by Dansky as he speeds away. 3 kills for Team 12 as they are all still standing.
They're all still standing. SpaceStation might have enough of a defense left. 35 seconds before Jaina comes in, but with 3 members down, Team 12 will move directly to the bot lane. They've picked up the night camp at the bottom as well. They'll push. This is the victory march if they can make it. Late game team fighting in favor of Team 12. See if they can end it right here.
There's only Blaze and a Lucio. At least there's a keep still standing in the way, but as you're about to see, they're going to make quick work of that. Bunker has been used by Equinox already. The keep is down.
Gonna be too much.
8 seconds until Jaina's back up. That's one big defender in her damage, but I totally agree with you, Jay, how it's gonna be way too much. For 23 minutes, 30 seconds into the game, that Dragon Knight is still at 4 health, even with the focus on the rest of Team 12. That Dragon Knight is free to chunk this core down. Team 12 come back in game 2 to take it versus SpaceStation.
They are clutching these victories out. SpaceStation, that push onto the core wasn't necessarily what did it, but it probably was a little bit ill-advised. I mean, you're literally walking onto the core. I think it was 18 to 15, maybe 17 to 15, and then 16 was picked up after that kill. Anything that you get, if you get core health and then a DK later down the road, it makes it easier to end. That's really, or you find an opportunity to get a kill. If you lose anything else, the comeback experience is definitely in favor of Team 12. They were down, I think, maybe 3 levels at some point. Next thing you know, they're down 2 levels, then 1 level, and then all of a sudden it's even. And SpaceStation just kind of, it whittled away from them, but credit to Team 12. They had the rotations, they used their global, and they found their way back in that game. One big team fight, one big play by Justin on that stage dive, won it for them.
Yeah, and maybe it wouldn't have been such a detrimental thing for SpaceStation to push in, but Team 12 did have the global. So it required SpaceStation to, just like in Game 1, have perfected rotations. And in that late game, that decision-making, it just started to come into play in a big way for Team 12, and that's what gives them a 2-0 win so far in this series. We're going to head to our commercial break. After the break, Game 3 between SpaceStation and Team 12. Stick with us.